Hello, I'm going to be talking today about a course that I'm running in the Faculty of Social and Human Sciences at the University of Southampton in the School of Social Sciences. My name's Amos and I've been running a course there for about 4 years called Introduction to Quantitative Methods. I've been involved in this course as a coordinator or a tutor for far longer than this, about 9 years. And over this time, the course has been through many changes and improvements. We hope they're improvements at least. And many of the improvements have been due to previous lecturers, such as Professor John Micklewright, now at the Institute of Education. And also other innovations have been brought in by other lecturers too. A number of years ago, this course was disliked by most students who took it. But even though we appreciate that it's never going to be some students' best course, the feedback has greatly improved over the years. And this presentation will take you through some of the improvements that we have been making. Background to the course is that it's a compulsory unit for all students within the School of Social Sciences except economists. So this includes sociologists, politics students, criminologists, sociology students, those taking international relations, and population and geography students too. It is run in the second semester of the first year, so students come into the university and they usually do not realise that they're going to need to take a quantitative methods course. So within the first semester, there is sometimes some negative feelings towards it. We don't try and hide this from the first year undergraduates that they will be doing this course when they're applying, but some students focus on the substantive side of the course rather than the more methods side. So at some points there is some negative feeling towards the course before they begin. And our job is to try and coax the students through this to see that quantitative methods can aid their understanding of their substantive area as well as enhance their knowledge and employability afterwards. Some of these students have A-level maths when they come into the course. Others have not done maths since GCSE. And even then they might have only got a C grade. So there's a wide range of students, and the course needs to try and talk to all these different groups of people. This brings its advantages and disadvantages. It means that we can start from scratch and ensure that everyone has the same level of understanding, but it also may mean that some students do not feel suitably stretched in the first few weeks. But basically there is this feeling of fear about the course, especially because it is compulsory and it is a core unit. Students will not be allowed to progress to the second year without passing this course at 40%. This, as you can tell, puts extra pressure on the students. So what do we cover? We cover both descriptive and inferential statistics. We start with the very basic statistics, so looking at types of data before moving on to graphs, averages, and then Z-scores and the normal distribution, as well as correlation. The more descriptive elements of quantitative methods. And we move on to inferential statistics towards the end of the course, looking obviously at sampling distributions and the central limit theorem, confidence intervals, and hypothesis tests too. In a way, it's a more traditional quantitative methods course, but it tries to liven up the material through using examples, as I'll explain later. The method of delivery is through traditional stand-up lectures, there are 22 of them. We have a weekly tutorial, which we make compulsory, which goes through problem sets and answers any questions that they may have. An 8-week computer practical course, which focus on the use of Excel. Excel has been chosen because we feel like it is a skill that many students will be using in jobs after they leave the University of Southampton. We also have drop-in sessions, which are held twice a week, and students can turn up with any questions that they have. In reality, not many people use the drop-in sessions. There's usually a core of people who come week in and week out, and those are the people who do best. We focus on the building blocks for quantitative methods and prepping people for social science research. So the aim is not to get people to be experts at conducting quantitative methods, but it's understanding how quantitative methods are used in the social sciences. So being able to read journal articles and understand what they're talking about. Knowing the different approaches towards quantitative analysis, and also being critical of quantitative methods in the news, and highlighting that the newspapers don't usually or don't always get it right. The course leads on to a second year research methods course where further quantitative methods such as more advanced hypothesis tests, chi-squared tests and basic linear regression are taught. And there is also a qualitative element to that research methods course. So what's been changing? In the past, there used to be a 3-hour exam, which is worth 60%, and a dry piece of coursework, which was worth 40% of the overall grade. This has recently changed to only a 2-hour exam, focusing on the methods, as well as a practical coursework. And by the practical coursework, we mean that they use real data, which is usually either the UK neighbourhood statistics or country level statistics of the whole world, to bring together them finding out something about what is happening either in the UK or the world. We also get them to choose a newspaper article, which has to be quantitative with a graph in it, and to discuss this and to critically evaluate to see whether the graph fits exactly what the newspaper article is saying, or if there are issues that need to be brought up further. And the coursework, since it has changed this more practical, more real data, seems to have gone down well with the students in the way that they feel like they're getting to know something as well as having to conduct the analysis. The other innovation is that we've introduced weekly online multiple choice tests. We have 9 of these tests throughout the year, throughout the semester, and it's the best 6 out of 9 that count. They're released on a Friday and they have over a week to do these tests. So they have a lot of time to assimilate the information and to attempt the 7-question multiple choice test. It doesn't take them long, and the students really enjoy the multiple choice because it keeps them engaged in the course all the way through. The multiple choice tests are consistently mentioned in the feedback, partly because marks are usually better than in other forms of assessment, but also within the realm of them actually wanting to be engaged in the course throughout. The multiple choice is only worth 15%, but is actually the best guide to the marks that are received in the whole course. Students who do well in the multiple choice are likely to do well overall. And those who don't feel like they want to take it because they ignore it usually fail and have to retake the whole course. And other changes that we've been making is the use of real data, not just in the coursework, but throughout. I would say in about 90% of the cases, the lectures are about a research question or topic or a recent news article that might be of interest to these students, but actually are definitely of interest to the lecturer, i.e. myself. So this year, for example, we did a whole section on gun crime in the US, looking at graphical measures, comparing countries, comparing states, to illustrate how the changes and differences in gun ownership can be seen using these simple methods. Lance Armstrong had just admitted that he'd been doping all the way through his Tour de France activities, and we looked at some basic statistics to see how this could have been seen before. Mitt Romney had lost the election, and we looked at how he seemed to have manipulated Twitter followers. And although this didn't happen this year, we looked at a bit about Nobel Prizes and how they correlated with chocolate consumption at the country level, which the students seem to like. This, we feel, keeps up the energy and gets people engaged in the research topic or the area of information, not just the quantitative methods. And finally, we have conducted some technological innovations. Every lecture is recorded, so students don't have to turn up. but interestingly enough, attendance was actually better than before the lectures were recorded. It allows replaying the course afterwards and before the exams too. An analysis of this, out of 125 students, 70 unique students actually looked at these recordings. Mainly before the exam, but some of them looked at them every week to keep up. And overall, 317 hours of lectures were replayed. We also try and keep it interactive in the lectures, so they get handheld devices to vote on certain answers throughout. So this keeps the interaction up and to check the understanding of the students. So if most people got an answer wrong, the lecturer can go back and recap on the information. These were highly popular with the students and actually made them enjoy the lectures rather than endure the lectures.